What's going on, everybody? My name is Tomas and this is my review of the LG G4. I need to preface this video by saying LG was kind enough to send this handset out to me for review. It is an international unlocked model. Without LG, this video would not have been possible. So a big thank you to them. Now the first thing I want to talk about is design and ergonomics. When I took this phone in my hand for the very first time, I was like, wait a minute. This is a 5.5-inch phone? I couldn't believe it because it was one-handable. When you get into the realm of 5.5 inches and above, it's a really slippery slope when you're talking about handling it. You're more than likely to drop it than actually get something done. I'm not a fan of phones of this size, but this one I am most definitely a fan, and it's something that I really absolutely love. If you're that type of person like me, I don't like to step into the realm of bigger phones or phablets per se, but the LG G4 does form factor perfectly. It's the best 5.5-inch phone on the market, in my honest opinion. Now let's talk a little bit about design. LG stepped out of the box a little bit on this one because they're providing removable backs, and those removable backs are made of leather. Now I don't know how I feel about that quite yet. I can't really speak to it because I haven't had it in hand, but I think it looks awesome, and I commend them on taking that step. Now the software experience on the LG G4 is really awesome. I don't have any qualms with it other than it's not stock Android, but it's pretty dang close. I can only imagine if they implemented stock Android on this, I would be absolutely sold. The feeling of this phone is reminiscent of my Nexus 5, and I really absolutely have enjoyed my 2 weeks with this handset. It's something that I would have never considered it before, just based off specs because of the 5.5-inch display. But again, back to the ergonomics of it, it's one-handable and it's a very enjoyable experience. The Qualcomm Snapdragon Hexa-Core processor in this phone just supplements my feeling based on this. It performs really well and it works fantastically. Now the G4 comes with 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, which gives you roughly 20 gigabytes of usable space. But that shouldn't concern you any because LG opted to keep providing you expandable storage. And when we talk about support for expandable storage, it supports up to 2 terabytes. Now that's not to say you're gonna go out and purchase 2 terabyte micro SD card, because I don't think they exist, and if they did exist, they would cost you an arm and a leg. But in the future, who knows? You may be watching this in the future and you may have access to a 2 terabyte SD card just laying on your desk. Throw it in, this phone supports it. Now powering this phone is a 3000 milliamp hour battery. It's gotten me through a day. It's nothing impressive because it's pushing a 5.5 inch 2560 by 1440 display, in addition to pushing that 808 processor in it. It'll get you through the day. Now along the lines of the removable back and removable battery, the removable back has an embedded pad for NFC, but here's a huge disappointment on my part. That little pad does not support Qi-enabled charging. I was really disappointed because I cracked it open. I was like, yes, it features some awesome wireless charging because I've become accustomed to that since the Nexus 5, and I put it on my pad and nothing happened. I was really disappointed. I can't wait for a third party to implement some sort of backing on their end to where I can use this phone on my wireless charger. At that point, I will definitely go with that third party, or even if LG provides something. I was just upset that it didn't come standard on the phone. I think that's a new standard that every manufacturer should adopt and embrace because it's a convenience thing. I don't want to be troubled with plugging in my phone when you're limiting me on my battery already as is. You're also limiting me on charge options. Now talking about battery, I want to talk a little bit more about the immersive experience of the display. The 5.5-inch IPS quantum display that's 2560 by 1440 features a 538 pixels per inch. You are not going to be able to differentiate between pixels. This screen is absolutely crisp and has great viewing angles, in addition to being viewable outdoors in direct sunlight surprisingly well. It does really great outside, which is a big plus for me, and it brings you into content. Now, that's only half of the immersive experience. The second half would be audio, or what you're hearing. The mono speaker featured on the LG G4 is passable. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's awesome either. Let's go ahead and hop into some samples of what you can expect from the LG G4 speaker-wise. All right, to close this video out, I want to talk about the camera. The camera. The LG G4 has the most impeccable camera that I've ever had the pleasure of using on a smartphone. It has all the options in the software that you could possibly want. It's really going at point and shoots, and even entry-level DSLRs, because this thing shoots phenomenal photos, just absolutely phenomenal. I will link you in the description of this video to some sample photos that I took with this phone. Feel free to check those out. Now the video, on the other hand, is really awesome, but the optical image stabilization is really aggressive with recording video on the rear-facing camera. I'll show you. Let's hop into some sample footage of that. All right, so true to the fashion on my channel, here's a demonstration of the front-facing camera on the LG G4. The 8 megapixel sensor is capable of capturing 1920 by 1080, and it captures some really nice video. Also, here's a perfect opportunity for you to hear how the microphone performs and how audio is recorded in your videos. Let's hop on over to the rear-facing camera. Okay, so here's a demonstration of the rear-facing camera on the LG G4. The 16 megapixel sensor features optical image stabilization and allows for you to record in 4K. The optical image stabilization, however, is really aggressive, and it makes your footage almost unusable. It is unusable in my opinion, but I think there is room for improvement here with the software update. LG has done a fantastic job constructing a cell phone that has the perfect camera. You can really get some great video in addition to capturing perfect pictures. The thing is just amazing. It blows anything out of the water when it comes to taking pictures and the options that you're allowed. Now all they need to do is fix the aggressive optical image stabilization in this camera. Let me know what you think of this demonstration portion down in the comments section below. And do you think they'll fix it? Because I think it's really aggressive and it's really problematic when it comes to shooting handheld on your cell phone, which you will primarily be doing when you're recording video on your cell phone, right? Well, that about does it for me in this one, everybody. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down and let me know in the comments section down below what it is that I can do to improve. Your feedback is extremely valuable to me. In addition to that, feel free to check out my channel. If you like what you've seen here and what you've seen on my channel, you're more than welcome to subscribe. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Take care.